we've saved the best till last. So welcome everyone to this session at the end of the day. I hope you've had a good day. I hope it's been productive. I hope you've had lots of conversations about your future. And I hope that I can now be helpful, perhaps to those who are thinking about maybe taking a creative subject for their degree or for their career, because that's what we're going to be talking about. Would be really good if you could maybe put in the chat box the sorts of careers or maybe the subjects that you're interested in, whether that's illustration, whether it's fine art or photography or fashion, which is my background. So put it in the chat box just so we can see the kinds of things that you're interested in. Right, my name is Sarah Charles, as Caroline said. I'm going to share the screen now. I do have a presentation to give, which is all about careers, fashion menswear. Thank you. That's the first one we've got up here. Great. You will see a couple of examples of fashion jobs, which should include fashion menswear. There are lots of different examples of types of jobs throughout this short presentation. If you don't see the job you're really thinking about in the first 5 minutes, don't worry, because hopefully you will at least see it once during the presentation. And if you don't, ask me about it at the end, because I'd like to have a chat. Okay, I'm going to share the screen now. There are a couple of films which we're going to play as well. 1 minute, let me get to the, oh, I lost the cursor. It's taking a minute to load, sorry. Yeah, the cursor's gone. Sorry, just 1 minute. Right, let's make a start. I can't find my, there it is, right. Sound is shared, so we should be all ready to go. Hopefully you can all see that now on the big screen. And as I said at the beginning, my name is Sarah and I'm from the Arts University Bournemouth, or AUB for short. We are one campus based in the UK in sunny Bournemouth today. We are a world-class art, design, media and performance university for creative industries. That's all we do. That's what we have on campus. That's what we specialise in. And we think we're pretty good at it. So this is a short film which will show you the kinds of things that we do. It's a real snapshot. It's only a few seconds, so just don't blink and you'll miss it. But it gives you a kind of flavour of the sorts of subjects and the exciting things that we get up to. So there you have it, a real snapshot. Hopefully you saw in there an image of something that is interesting to you. We are the #1 arts university in the UK. We're also ranked #1 as the specialist institution for employability according to Times Higher. So that's another thing we're really proud of. And of course, something we're going to talk about for the next 20 minutes, those all important jobs that you need to get when you spend all that time and energy for 3 years, maybe 4 years studying your subject. So let's get cracking. We're going to be talking about creative careers. Now, creative careers have a bit of a bad reputation historically. Some people think of starving artists in their attics with no money and never knowing how they're going to pay the next bill. Actually, the truth couldn't be further from this. And throughout this presentation, by the end of this presentation, I'm hoping I will have completely changed your mind. So here we go. First, some headlines about the creative industries, because again, it has a bit of a bad reputation and people think, you know, there's no jobs, students who get it won't get jobs, there's nothing out there. But you can see here from these statistics, Back in 2016, there were nearly 95 billion the creative industries was worth. Then in 2016 to 2019, it grew to nearly 116 billion value of the creative industries. That's a huge chunk of industry to the country. It's also grown nearly twice the rate of the rest of the economy since 2010. And there are currently more than 2 million jobs in the creative industries, all out there and growing. 1 in 8 businesses and 1 in 11 jobs is in the creative industry. So next time somebody says to you, there are no jobs, maybe you can quote some of these figures. But what about the future? Some more interesting statistics. Now, the government employ specialists every year to look at what jobs are available, to look at what jobs are going to be available, to make sure that they're training people, they're providing education for those industries, ready to work in those industries. What they're saying is that around 32% of jobs in non-creative industries are at risk of automation. Against that, only 15% of the creative industry, the creative jobs, are at high risk of being automated. And that's because of the innovation, the critical thinking, the way we create, the skills that we have as creative people, which can't be replicated by robots, by a machine. So those creative thinking skills are really valuable, not just for life, but for the future. And what they're saying is they are the most significant predictor or more likely to grow as an occupation between now and 2030. You will have graduated by then. You may have moved, you may have done your master's, and you might just be starting to look for whatever your career is going to be. Career tech is a fairly new word. It's been around for the last 2 or 3 years, which is this idea of merging creativity and technology. And you will know that there's a huge amount of that going on at the moment, like the new Nike advert that's just been launched at Shinjuku Station. What an amazing thing that is. Look it up if you haven't seen it. But the UK has a really strong reputation for creativity and invention, which is really valued by employers all over the globe. This is another short film, and these guys are graduates of the Arts University, and they're talking a lot about the future and what the future holds for them. So enjoy this one.
Things are making money, and it's okay to doubt yourself. But if you think you got that one thing that you do that glows in the dark, like you're designing, you're acting, drawing, or whatever feels right, then you need to follow that. That's worth going after, and don't lose that feeling. The one thing you do know about the future is that you don't know it. But we'll be working with tech that's not been invented yet, knowledge that's not been discovered yet, and problems we don't know yet. And these are all big things. And you can't apply the same old ways of thinking about stuff. You're going to need to be creative, and that's what the future's going to need.
So really great words from a couple of our graduates who I'll talk about a bit later on, who've just started their own business. But back to those degrees, you're now thinking about where you might want to go next, where you might want to go for university. So this is just an idea of how creative degrees can prepare you for your career and for life. We do take that raw talent. So as you just saw in that film, if you're drawing, if you're a dancer, if you're a photographer, if you're an artist, we take that talent, which we see in your portfolio, and we turn that with you into a successful creative career because we share that passion. And we don't just make things, we don't just make more stuff to put out onto the market. We really do make a difference. So we think about design as a very human-centered, very human-focused thing to do, to try and improve the world, the human condition, the way things are, and change things, change the status quo. We prepare you for work by giving you projects that are project-based and deadline-driven and very relevant to industry. There's no point in giving you a deadline and then changing it. So we do enforce those deadlines as you would be expected to have them enforced if you were out at work. But probably the best thing about what we do is allowing you to do what you love and learn from the best while you're doing it. Our students leave us with these skills, which are really recognised as being important by industry. Gosh, we've needed resilience in the last couple of years, haven't we? And our students really have shown how they have adapted to the situation. And there are lots of examples of those on our website, how they've overcome those real difficult times that we've all had in the last couple of years. You need to be independent, and those project-based projects will help you to do that. Collaboration is massive at Arts University. Our courses work together in a formal way. Sometimes it's written into the timetable, but a lot of times you will see that students are working together across courses in an informal way. They meet in the canteen, they meet in the library, and they start chatting about how they can come together and work together, which of course sets up some amazing networking opportunities in their future careers. Communication is massive. You're communicating those creative ideas. And self-promotion too. Once you get out there, you've got to be able to promote yourself with your portfolio, with your artwork, whether you're a dancer, a photographer, a fashion designer, or a fine artist. So those are the real key skills that our students strive to achieve, and we hope they get by the time they leave. But what kind of work is right for you, maybe? Now, there's a fantastic quiz here. We can't do it now, sadly, because it does take a few minutes, but I will put this link in the chat box. I've done it myself. It's a great quiz, and you basically answer a series of questions. And then when you get to the end, it gives you a summary of maybe the types of jobs that might be of interest to you, the types of subjects, what your strengths are. It also gives you a kind of forward-thinking plan of where you might fill in the gaps in your knowledge. It's fantastic. I really do recommend you have a go at it. So I'll put that in the links in the chat box afterwards and have a go. It's also a lot of fun because you get all these animated characters that pop up. So it's lots of fun. Right, so what job roles are there in the creative industries? Let's take a look at a few of those. And this is just a snapshot. This is just, I don't know how many there are here, but you know, however many there are 20 times as many as this. But you can see, maybe you can spot in there something that interests you. Stage manager, events producer, landscape architect, company manager, art therapist, wig specialist, graphic designer. You know, maybe you've spotted one, but that's just a snapshot. There are many more than that. And these are just a few examples of different subjects. I'm not going to do them all, but different subjects. And you can see within photography how many different jobs there are within just one subject. So just because you have a photography degree doesn't mean to say you have to be a photographer. You can go into documentary photography. You can go into property photography, food photography, fashion photography. You can be a picture researcher. So there, you know, about 15 or so different jobs just with one title. And here are some more for those who might be interested in illustration. You can, of course, become a freelance illustrator, a book illustrator, but you can also be a fashion illustrator, a map maker, a graphic designer, a sculptor. These are all real jobs that our students, the graduates, have gone on to achieve. So, you know, another example. Animation, perhaps there's some animators out there. This is a massive growing field at the moment, alongside media and film. This is huge. And these students go on to work as VFX artists, web designers, games artists, production designers. You can see the list is longer than that, but you get the idea. And here's those fashion jobs for the fashion menswear designer that put the name up in the box earlier. We haven't actually got menswear there, but it will be. Fashion designer, buyer, merchandiser, stylist, visual merchandiser. These are all jobs that our fashion graduates go on to achieve. So again, really long list. If we added those into that original plan, it would go right off the page. Model making. Now, this is a very specialist area. It's quite a niche area, this one. And the course actually has a nearly 100% employment rate once students leave, because it is so specialist. And you can see why when you look at those jobs on the left-hand side, because these students go on to do things like architectural modeling, facial reconstruction model maker, prototype technician. Some of them work for Formula One, creating models for cars and prototypes. You can see there, prototype technician. So this is a real specialist area, lots of fun. And what I should have said all along is the work on the right-hand side is all student work. So that is a model maker who has created that piece. And they quite often work with our film course or our VFX course. To create models, or animation, to create models for those students to be animated or filmed, whatever is required. So again, that idea of collaborating across courses is really helpful for when students go out into the working world, because they know what teamwork is all about. And these really are just a handful of the kinds of companies that our students go on to work for, ones that you will recognize straight away. And I couldn't leave really without showing off a bit. These are some of our graduates. For those filmmakers out there, you might recognize Edgar Wright or Simon Beaufoy. And this one, you may well recognize Wolfgang Tillmans, photographer, or Nick Knight, or Sir Peter Cook, the architect. All of these professionals have at some point studied at the Arts University. So back to reality, what are our graduates doing in the creative industries? We can take a look at that now. The guys that were in the film earlier that we mentioned, they founded this company, the Syrup Room, and they create events and interactive design spaces for these companies, these amazing brands that you can see down at the bottom here. So Red Bull, Nescafe, Hilton, Bombay Sapphire. They're freelance and they work with these really recognized brands, and you can see some of their work on the left-hand side there. This is Liv and Dom, who graduated from illustration, and they created, again, their own business, homeware brand. They produce fun sculptures and packaging, and they again work with some really famous names like Netflix, but also they work with Papier Stationery and Wolf and Moon Jewelry. So they've set up their business and they're doing very well. This is another example of an illustrator, Krishna, who works locally. He's a graffiti artist, but he does these large-scale murals around the town, but also outside of the town. You can see one of them here. He's standing just below it. And here are some more examples. And he's commissioned by the town, by the council, to create these beautiful murals, which will, be a lasting legacy to his work, and obviously something that he can use going forward. And this is a lovely story. Who hasn't ever wanted to run away to the circus? Well, Mia did exactly that. She joined after she'd finished her costume degree, she joined as a wardrobe technician, Cirque du Soleil. And after a while, when she showed what she could do, she also became the first female wardrobe technician to also be a performing artist in the Cirque du Soleil. So what a dream that was. And as far as I know, she's still there. I mentioned freelance working, and of course that is something that creative people do quite often. You're not employed by a company or committed to a single customer. You have the absolute freedom to choose to promote, to work with people and companies that you want to. And this type of work it's a little less stable than traditional employment. You don't get, that monthly income. So if you want to do that, that's something you need to consider. But the creative freedom makes it the most amazing thing to do. And it can be quite profitable as well, because of course you don't have these big overheads. You don't have a big company and lots of employees. You are your own boss. So couple of different options with creative jobs. So how do we support our students to achieve these amazing jobs? We have a careers department, and they are based on site, on campus, and they are 24/7 promoting jobs and opportunities that all our students can benefit from. You can go and chat with them in your very first year, if you like. If there's somewhere you're thinking about going on a placement, maybe in your second year, you can go and talk to them, and they can help you to sort it out. They can help with CVs, they can help with, approaching employers, anything really that you would like to do. They also have this fantastic resource where students can only Arts University. Some of these vacancies are only available to Arts University students. And you go on here, it's updated regularly, and you can apply for these jobs with the support of the university. So lots of opportunities for students to get part-time jobs or full-time jobs, depending on what they would like, or placements or internships, as I mentioned. Another great place to look, and it's a bit like that little quiz I'm going to share with you at the end, is Prospects. Now, this is not the Arts University website, but it is a fantastic website to look at jobs in the creative arts. And you can see there, you just go into Prospects, put in creative arts and design, and then you go down the list and see what job appeals to you, and then it will give you information about jobs that are available, about internships that are available, and about companies that are looking. But not only that, it will give you information about the types of skills and maybe other jobs that you could think about. Really useful resource and readily available to any students. Just Google it, Prospects. It's a really good resource when you're starting to think about what you might like to do. And this is just another short film, because this is another thing we do. We have Creative Careers Days at Arts University, and this is where a panel of tutors and staff will talk about the kinds of things that we do, and we get the local community, and we get students and alumni, and they come along, and we just share what we do. So it's just a lovely short film. So again, just gives you a snapshot of some of the subject areas that we cover. So I'm just going to finish off by sharing a few most recent student stories, students who graduated last year, just so you can see that it's not just sort of students who've left us a while ago. This student graduated from BA Honours Photography and was featured in the National Gallery in London last year. So what a kickstart to a career that this student is going to have. This is Sophie Baverstock, and she completed her BA Honours Makeup. And whilst she was studying on the course, she took part in BBC Glow Up. You might have seen it. And she is predicted to be the rising star and Britain's next makeup star. She graduated last year. Lovely story again on the website. If you look up Sophie Baverstock, she talks about her experience at Arts University and the support she got. So it's a great little film if you want to have a look. This is Caitlin, who studied costume and performance, and she talks here about her time at Arts University, how super helpful the tutors were, and again, that idea of collaboration and the creative atmosphere. She's gone on to do a master's in costume. This is Crystal, who came to us from Malaysia, and she chose AUB because she wanted the design course without losing the campus lifestyle. So all of it being in one place was the thing that really swung it for her. That's what she really, really wanted. And this is Mohammed, who was a film student. He did his foundation diploma with us before joining the bachelor course. And again, he talks about this idea of community and how supportive and friendly it is, because we are quite a small university, really, with about 4,000 students. And this is Matali, who I think is second year now BizCom. She might be third, but I think she's second. And she came to us from India, and she was attracted by the creative individuals and the like-minded people. So that idea of people all studying the arts, all studying media and performance, and how that can feed off and feed into each other. And this young lady here came to us for film production, and she had a lovely time and looked at it as a new perspective, gave her a new perspective on what life was about. And because, of course, we're in a lovely position in the UK, lots of great countryside and beautiful beaches for her to go and film. One more film production, again, visited the campus and just fell in love with it. So lots of reasons to come to Arts University Bournemouth. So to finish off with, this is our prospectus. We don't have a paper one. It's all on Instagram. So all you need to do is have a look on the website, like the Instagram page, and you'll get regular updates. It's all designed to go on your mobile phone. It's, you get the full user experience, as they say. So do take a look at that on Instagram. This is me. I work in the international department. This is our contact information. You're more than welcome to email me on that email address, scharles. The QR code, if you scan that or take a picture of that, you can actually book an appointment directly with me to have a one-to-one. We can look at your portfolio. We can even look at a single piece of work. It tells a lot. So do get in touch if you would like to. That's me done.